Estonians in their spirit have always been a society which looks towards the future. Johan Liiv, an Estonian author, has once upon a time said that there will be Estonian state. This nation arrived, and in this nation we dreamed of the better future for the Estonian people. And when that nation disappeared, then we for about 50 years dreamt again of the better future. And now this future is upon us. Dreaming makes your life better if you have the liberty to implement them. Dreaming gives us prosperity, provided we also have the education to implement our dreams. It is the task of the state to provide suitable education for everyone. And it is the responsibility of the state also to make sure that those who can will be able to carry out their tasks. It is the responsibility of the state to provide support for the weakest, because for the strongest there are freedoms. And the task of the president is to make sure that nobody, including herself or himself, would not forget their tasks. I promise I will be always there when our security or safety is under threat, when somebody who's weaker will need our support. So let us all care for Estonia.
Thank you.
Mr. President of the Parliament, Mr. Ekenester. Madam President, Mr. President, over the last 3 days or so, I've observed very carefully what they've been writing about you, Thomas. And for all the praises you have received, I do agree with them. But I'm worried about 2 things, actually, because everybody who lavishes praise upon you have forgotten number 2 things. And first one is linked to my today's task, my job, and my understanding of the Estonian Constitution. First of them is that you definitely have been a president who have fulfilled our Constitution in the best possible way. My second point is linked to then when the times are hard, both national events and also the ones which have paralyzed the entire Europe. And this situation, as it was a couple of years ago during the Ukrainian crisis, when people just approached you and asked what's going to happen. And then I thought that you would be the best person in Estonia who I know, who would have such a calming effect that people would believe that Estonia is here and Estonia will remain. It is not your own fault, but you are as you are. And to conclude, something of a more personal nature. Well, I'm very glad that you're looking so satisfied right now. And I have a present for you on behalf of the Parliament. And this was the flag which was on our flag tower on the 9th of October 2006 when you were sworn into the office. But another idea about how to conclude the speech was the one you gave me yourself today.
Nimelt, kohe peale seda ametivahetust sa tegid tweedi ja tegid rocki.
Tõlkimatu sõnade mäng.
Okay.
So as this is of a personal note, and let's say that it could be a musical conclusion to all this, let's say it's not so much rock, but it's about soul. I'm sure you all are familiar with James Brown.
You're gonna have a funky good time. You're gonna have a funky good time. You're gonna have a funky good time. You're gonna have a funky good time.
And now I'd like to give the floor to the Prime Minister of the Republic of Estonia, Mr. Taavi Rõivas. Madam President, dear Presidents, after the speech by the President of the Parliament, it's very hard to take an official note, and actually I did not plan to do so either. I have a few really heartfelt recommendations. Well, first of all, Madam President, when you're assuming the office during the first days and weeks and months, there will be a lot of people who will be approaching you and eager to give you advice because they believe that they know the best how to run this country and how to do this work. And my recommendation is the one I received myself 2.5 years ago, that you should really trust your own instinct, because I believe that this is something which is very strong within you. And as you do that, I'm convinced that the Estonian nation will follow you and Estonia will do well. And I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to President Toomas Hendrik Ilves. Everything good which has been written about you and which we can read from the papers and it was referred to by Mr. Nestor, this is all true, but there is so much more of it. Thanks to you, the world knows Estonians' digital success story, but what is even more important and perhaps strategically more important is something I've felt over the last 2.5 years as the head of government myself, that you have helped Estonia to win friends and keep them. And now, since it's a very complicated geopolitical situation we have today, and one of the good friends of Estonia, Uffe Ellemann-Jensen, has said that this situation today is more complicated than it was 25 years ago, and Estonia really truly needs its friends. And right now we're looking back to the last 10 years, but I think we have a lot of reasons to also look ahead towards the future. And when we think about this 3,700 holiday days which are to come up, then I believe that we need you once again. Because we do need your friends and you need your friendship and we need you to put in a good word and we need you in the future to be someone important for Estonia. And regardless where is the physical location of a map book or your headphones where you can listen to the music of Arvo Pärt, I'm sure you will be very closely linked to Estonia. And on behalf of the government of the Republic, we have one present for you which is of a more protocol nature and the other present which is of a personal nature. So this is one of them is the official present, which is our picture of all of us together with our words of gratitude, and the other one is of a personal nature, and I was told it's too personal to bring it along. So we have a picture. Well, over the years we've had many reasons to be grateful, and I would like to say really true heartfelt thank you to you. And I'm used to using a familiar address, but first and foremost, you will remain my president. We have now Mr. Søren Jeltrup of His Excellency Ambassador for the Kingdom of Denmark on behalf of the Diplomatic Corps.
Honorable Presidents, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Diplomatic Corps in Tallinn, I would like to thank for this opportunity to say a few words both to the incoming and to the outgoing President. Madam President, please accept sincere congratulations from all residing ambassadors here in Tallinn and the governments we represent. We wish you every success with your new important job. You have said yourself that you were surprised by the turn of events these past weeks, but we ambassadors residing here in Estonia were prepared because we already know that Estonia is not only surprising, it is positively surprising. And therefore, it is a pleasure to present you with these flowers and warmly congratulate you and the Estonian people. Mr. President, in the 10 years you have served the Estonian people, many important events have happened in the world. You had a clear opinion about many of these events. This was evident when you met with representatives from our countries, and you met many of them. According to my information, you made 232 visits abroad and made 69 speeches outside Estonia. Maybe the most remarkable, you probably made more, but this was the information that is official, so. Maybe the most remarkable achievement of yours has been, as Madam President also alluded to in Riigikogu just a few hours ago, to contribute to make Estonia a world-leading IT nation. Not least in this area, your insights and political drive have made Estonia larger and more important than its geographical size demands. In fact, in some of our countries, you are even known as the IT president. For the Diplomatic Corps in Tallinn, you're also well known for probably the most hospitable and friendly treatment to diplomats by any head of state. Not least your invitations to residing ambassadors for Christmas and summer events have been very much appreciated. Last Christmas we met your wife, Ms. Jeva Ilves, and she originates not far from where you originate, which you have also mentioned that your wife is a Leave. So we have a special gift as a small token of our gratitude in the diplomatic corps, which is a map of Livonia, which I'm sure that will remind you of the very fruitful cooperation between people in these areas.
And now I'd like to give the floor to the Minister of Defense of the Republic of Estonia. Dear Presidents, Your Excellencies, and when the Prime Minister was here and said we had two presidents, one of them is official and one of them is personal. Well, the idea came in the Mexican bar around the corner when President Ilves had provided us with the Last Supper we enjoyed with him. And we had 4 members of the government present, and we discussed it with Mrs. Ilves for quite a few days. And the result was, since I'm not as bashful as our Prime Minister, was that the President was the pram for the baby. And the pram has presidential plates, as the Prime Minister just said. And now to get to the more official version, I'm sure all of you know President Ilves is somebody for whom security matters are very important for him, in addition to information technology. And over the last 10 years, we've had to navigate some really stormy seas as a nation, and it was difficult for you as well, as you were the leading state defense figurehead. But things have moved in the right direction for us, and I'm sure it's not an accident. And in all of this, you played a very important role, especially putting this topic on the map as a priority. And all these hundreds of visits abroad have brought this topic on the foreground and made sure that this is not only an important topic for Europe, but for the entire transatlantic region. There is no such thing as security of Estonia. It's a security for Europe and the entire Western world. And therefore, on behalf of our office, the Minister of Defense, I would like to give our highest award, the First Class Service Award of the Minister of Defense. Thank you for your work.